Hello everyone, Trophy Wine Hunter. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my update for March 2025. So a lot going on, lots of things I can't really disclose right now. I'm really excited about something, but I'm gonna wait for it to happen first and then kind of disclose it to my viewers and subscribers. Lots of reviews that I've already done that so hopefully we'll be able to present them this month. So many tastings that I've done in January, February that I'd like to send to everyone. So just getting them out. I've done a review of the Dom Perignon 2015 vintage in the special collector's case from Takashi Murakami. I've done the Crystalline 2024 Pinot Noir Peter Max, which is supposedly very similar to DRC, so that's why I was interested of this wine. We've done the Chateau Montrose 2015, and that kind of piggybacks on my recent video about Saint Estèphe wines. Cornell Vineyards 2015, which is a producer from Napa Valley, and then the Oremus 2017 Tokaji Azzu 5 Puttonyos. So very excited about bringing these wines to my viewers and subscribers. A couple other really exciting things for me this month. I am going to be taking WSET 3 and we'll tell you a little bit about the process, studying hard. Hopefully I'll pass it. It'd be very embarrassing if I don't, but that's life. But I'll go kind of give you my views on things like, you know, what I've learned, and I will share a little bit during this video. There's also the Vancouver International Wine Festival that's coming up March 13th weekend, and I'll be there. Hope to see a lot of viewers and subscribers there. If you see me, you know, please say hi, but you know, be polite, please. If you don't like me, then just be nice, okay? But hopefully I'll see a lot of you guys there. I'll probably be there Thursday and Friday night tasting. I will be at 2 seminars. There's a really interesting seminar on Beaujolais wines, and also really looking forward to is the Riedel does this the art of the glass, where they have different glasses and show you how a glass can change the taste of each. So I'm really excited to bring you a report from those 2 seminars. For those of you who are following my wine journey this year, I've limited myself to 250 equivalent 5-ounce glasses. I'm doing pretty well. At the end of February, I'm at 39 glasses, so I think I'm doing pretty well. It's going to be a tough one this month because there's a lot of dinners coming up with the International Wine Festival. I think it has been very useful for me to kind of limit my alcohol and my wine. It actually makes me think a little bit harder about drinking. It actually takes me away from drinking kind of unnecessarily. So I'm much more focused whenever I drink, and it's really important that I drink good stuff, or I'm really interested in drinking, not just grabbing a drink for no reason. And because I've kind of just limited this as wine, it doesn't really apply for other alcohols. It has opened me up to cocktails and sake, and I haven't had a beer yet this year, but you know, beers or scotches, it does open me up a little bit, although those are really not things that I'm too interested in, so I'm not too worried about how much I'm consuming of these things. I will have in the comment section the list of wines that I actually drank this month. Compared to January, it's maybe not as high-end a list. I had a couple of dinners. One was a dinner with Azelia Winery, which I'll bring you in the next month or so, and another one was a wine pairing dinner at the Five Sails restaurant. So those kind of took up a lot of my allocation this month, but that was really fun to try. Every month I try to talk a little bit about wines, and I'm going to talk this month about a little bit what I've learned at while I'm doing WSET 3. And one of the things that I have learned doing WSET 3 is I've got a new perspective. There's some regions that I don't know very well. There are some regions that I think I know a little bit better, like Bordeaux and Burgundy and Barolo. I'm more familiar with Madeira, Port, Champagne, and more. But there's some regions that I'm not familiar with, and there's some really excellent wines in those regions. So kind of I had this new thought process that I never really thought out before, because there's a lot of, in particular, you'll see some of my recommendations this month reflect that. in my way of thinking, if you kind of have to decide what type of drinker you are. You can be everything, but sometimes, you know, if you're starting out, you want to be a value drinker. I personally think you should be drinking regions that provide great value, like region like the Loire Valley. They've got great white wines and red wines. And, you know, the problem is that we get a lot of Napa, Bordeaux, Burgundy, Italian, but those are really expensive regions. And so if you're drinking those, you're going to be drinking at, let's say, a $40 level, fairly entry-level wines. But $40 for a region like the Loire Valley or some of the minor regions in Italy, like Veneto, can give you really good wines. And so if you're starting out, I actually think that you should be looking at those not as well-known regions, because you're going to get better value for your money. And then as you move up and you want to spend a little bit more, that's where I think you go to Bordeaux and Burgundy and Italian. And I think that's where some people make the mistake, you know, because all the magazines always, you know, spotlight Burgundy, Bordeaux, Champagne. These are all really expensive regions. And although they're really flashy, you know, if you're looking for value, you're not getting a lot of value. That's not the proposition when you're drinking trophy wines. You're not getting value. That's not why you drink trophy wines. So where you're going to get the value as a beginner is those regions that are less known. And I really encourage people now to look out for those regions, because you're going to get some really, really good value for the price. And when you're starting out, it is important to drink top end. So one of the things that I always tell people is that, you know, when you're drinking, sometimes you're getting the wrong impression. When you're drinking value Bordeaux and you don't like it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like really top-end Bordeaux. It's just that there's such a difference in terms of the quality, and price does matter in those type of regions. Same thing with Burgundy, same thing with Barolo. It does matter quite a bit, and like it or not, more expensive Burgundy or Bordeaux wines are generally quite a bit better than value Bordeaux's. The same price amount, you can go to, again, regions like Austria is another region that people don't really see a lot of. Languedoc-Roussillon region in France, it's still a French wine, but it's a great region for you to try out. Greece, another region that you know, really had some really innovations. These are really great drinking regions to kind of start your continuum, because a lot of people, when they're starting out, you know, with wines, they're probably not going to spend a lot of their money in wines, either because, you know, they're just starting out getting income, or they're not that interested in wine, so they don't want to spend that much money on it. So that's really my kind of change in approach since I've taken WSET, is that I think you really have to drink at first, if you're starting out, those value regions and get as much value as you can before you start kind of wanting to spend more money, like, you know, being okay with spending $100 a bottle on something, or, you know, spending a little bit more of your paycheck on something that you really like. That's when I think you go to regions like and Napa, I would say Australia, you know, in terms of the Barossa Valley, Barolo, Brunello, Champagne, Bordeaux, Burgundy. These are all very expensive regions. And so I would wait on those. There's no real rush. I'm not saying you shouldn't drink anything from those regions, but really I think the mistake a lot of beginners make is they spend a disproportionate amount of their money on chasing these very high-end regions with very little money, when you could actually spend the same money and really get very, very good wines for the quality, for the price, in not as well-known regions, and it also broadens your horizon. You can always come back to Bordeaux. You can always come back to Burgundy and Italy, and these will always be there on the shelf. These will always, you know, there'll be ample of opportunity. If you have the money, there is ample opportunity to buy and taste these wines. Almost every wine list will have a Napa wine, a Bordeaux wine, a Burgundy wine, a Barolo. But these other regions, they won't. And when you can get some value starting out, it really makes a difference. So like an example, when you have like a $200 budget, $200 in Bordeaux will get you maybe a couple of bottles. In Burgundy, may not even get you a bottle. Whereas, you could probably get 6 or 7 nice wines, really good quality wines from the Loire Valley, from Greece, from, Languedoc-Roussillon, Veneto, Friuli. Like, that's the kind of the use for me of the WSET course. It's really opened my eyes to the value spectrum. It's like there's a lot of wines out there that are really interesting and don't cost you a lot of money. And so that I would really strongly encourage people that are younger than me and also beginners to do this. I'm probably too far in my development to do this because I'm getting old and I'm drinking less. So, but that doesn't mean I won't drink stuff, but I will still look for top shelf wines in those regions. The rest of this video is going to focus on what's new and on sale at BC Liquor Stores this month. And there's a lot that's on sale, heavily discounted this month. So really looking forward to actually having that part of the video. And in particular, I'm focusing on some of these minor regions that don't get as much attention. Here's what's new and on sale at BC Liquor Stores for the month of March 2026. I'm really into some not as famous affordable regions. So the first one I have for you is the Louis Latour 2021 Macon Louis Le Geneviève. This is a great wine on sale. Burgundy, $3.99, now reduced to $37.99. So it is from the Macon region. So it's a lower or a value region in Burgundy, but it is still the Chardonnay grape. It's aged 8 to 10 months in stainless steel vats, no oak on this. Really nice drinking. It's going to be ready to drink, great with seafood. You're going to get a lot of floral notes and maybe some almonds on the nose, and then nice citrusy elements to this very crisp finish and on the palate. So really nice entry-level, affordable Chardonnay from the Burgundy region. Next wine is going to be from the Languedoc region, another really great value drinking region. So this is going to be the Gerard Bertrand 2022 Heresy Corbière. And great wine again from the Languedoc region. It's going to be mostly Grenache with a little blend, high alcohol. It's going to give you lots of red fruit and spices. There is a bit of Syrah and Mourvedre also in the mix here. And good tannins, good body, really strong, and from the Corbière regions, very similar, to even a Southern Rhone or Châteauneuf-du-Pape, but a little bit more on the value side. Speaking about Châteauneuf-du-Pape, this is a little bit higher end wine, but I really like the producer. I just saw it back in liquor stores. This is Le Vin d'Argent 2022 Châteauneuf-du-Pape, $82.99. Le Vin d'Argent is a fairly young winery, 1966, but really, really good quality. Love to see it whenever you like it, whenever you can see it on the shelf. It doesn't come back all that often. It's going to be a blend, so it's a good compare and contrast to the last wine. This is going to be 60% Grenache, 25% Syrah, 10% Mourvedre, and 5% Cinsault. And you're going to get all types of great dark fruit, really intense, bold wine. And it's a nice compare and contrast to the last wine from Gerard Bertrand, where you have, I think, still a very good wine, but this is going to be a little bit more upscale in terms of the complexity of the wine, and even more intense and more full-bodied. This is one of my favorite value Super Tuscan or Tuscan wines. This is 2023 Levolte from the Ornellaia winery. It's creeping up there, but it's still very, very affordable and a magnificent value wine. I think it's going to continue to creep in price, so you should buy it. Stock up on this if you are a kind of entry level or value drinker, because eventually it's going to go up and it's not going to be value anymore. Blend of 55% Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Merlot, and 5% Petit Verdot. Always great. Gives you just a wonderful blueberry, blackberries, lots of tannin, a little bit of oak. So it's a really, really well-made wine for the price. And so at least for a beginner wine, you always get good quality of this wine, and I would really stock up if you are a value drinker. This is another crazy great deal. This is from Cecchi, which is a very good producer in Italy. This is their 2024 Vernaccia de San Gimignano, which is the Vernaccia grape is grown all around in Italy, but really well grown in, really produces well or expresses well in Tuscany. And this is an amazing price for this wine. It's $19.99 reduced to $14.99. I don't think you can go wrong with this. This is going to be just a bright and lively white wine, some citrus, floral elements, green apples, a touch of minerality. Again, at this price, I don't think you can go wrong with this wine. Another really neat wine. This is the Saint Verny 2022 Côte d'Auvergne Privilege, and it's reduced this month from $44.99 to $39.99. So it is a red wine from the Loire Valley and from the volcanic Loire region in France, and it's a blend of Gamay and Pinot Noir. So it's going to have 13.5% alcohol, some red fruits, grilled meats, a little bit of dark chocolates. So nice, kind of interesting wine. And it's going to have a little bit of smokiness, raspberry, minerally notes because you've got that volcanic terroir. And it is produced by the oldest winery in the Puttonyos area. Next two wines are from some very nice regions in the Loire Valley. And I think the Loire Valley produces some spectacular white wines and some really interesting red wines that are of great value and often overlooked. So the first one is the Domaine J de Villebois 2023 Manitou Salon. And just a wonderful wine, reduced from $41.99 to $37.99. So Manitou Salon is one of the top regions in the Loire for white wines. And what you're going to get here is just some white peaches, some grassiness. It is Sauvignon, made from the Sauvignon Blanc grape. And it is going to be some apples, some green fruits, maybe a little bit of whetstone, and also some flowers, but not going to have the acidity that New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs have. So really nice change in style. Compare and contrast to their 2024 Sancerre. To me, they're both made by Sauvignon Blanc, very good regions in the Loire Valley. I can't tell the difference between Sancerre and Manitou Salon. I'm not that much of an expert, but you should do a comparison with both of them. This one, again, is also on sale. A little bit more pricey, reduced from $49.99 to $45.99. Sancerre has a better name, a more famous name than Manitou Salon, but you can taste to see if you can tell a difference. I think they're very similar in terms of the taste profile. Maybe Sancerre is a little bit more heavy, but try them out, both out. This is going to be a great wine. It's going to have, again, grass, fresh cut grass and gooseberries, maybe some citrusy and minerally elements on the aroma. Then you're going to have a lot of white fruit like peaches, green apples, gooseberry, similar to Manitou Salon. I think, again, a little bit heavier in style, but I think they're both really, really nice wines and quite affordable for the quality. Next, we're going to Bordeaux. This is Grand Puy de Cos 2021. This is a fifth growth wine from the Pauillac region, a 1855 classification classified wine, reduced from $95 to $75, all more than a 20% discount on a fifth growth wine from Pauillac. I think that's an incredible price. Even though 2021 would be considered off vintage, it's drinking really well right now. And you've got a $75 wine with a wine from Bordeaux that's got a really great history. And this is your chance to kind of try Bordeaux. If you want to try some high-level Bordeaux and see if you think you would like it, it's under $100, so I think it's a great price. This caught my eye as a very interesting wine. This is the Marcus Huber Reed 2022 Transcendental Riesling. It's reduced from $64.99 to $54.97, which denotes a final sale from the Austrian region of Transcendental Riesling. It's going to be 12.5% alcohol, but really interesting wine. Austria does make some really great wines. This is going to be very perfumed, again, white peaches, kind of a good acidic structure, lemon with a little bit of stone fruit also. So a really interesting wine, at least to try, from Austria, and really nice pairing with, it's going to be lighter style, but it's going to be nice pairing with, you know, some spicy food, Asian cuisine, and maybe some fish. Last wine I have for you is from Argentina. This is Bodegas Escorhula. This is their 1884 estate grown Syrah. 1884, of course, is their brand name. It's not grown from 1884, but Mendoza wine. This is old world style Syrah with wild herbs and ripe red fruits, some chocolate, some vanilla, some blueberries, some kind of grilled meat. Aromas. I love this label, and when you get a discount on it, it's great value. It's reduced from $19.99 to $16.99. Never really can go that wrong with this wine because the value is there. Good price always gives you fairly decent quality. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Until next time, happy drinking.